All right, good evening, everybody. I appreciate you coming out. My name is Sean Fraley. I'm one of the owners of the property on the north side of Lake Picket Road, which we're calling Sustany. I'm going to go through just very quickly some of this stuff a lot of you have already seen last week. So Sustany is a community that we're combining nature, wellness, and education into an eco-literate community, being based next to a 700-acre eco park currently existing today. So this is our property. On the south side would be Lake Picket Road. You see the 700-acre park. The red dots on there are the trail systems that go through the property. On site there's about 12 miles of trails. And then in the park itself there's existing about 5 miles of trails. We will be improving some of those trails and putting a lot of signage. Okay. So basically we're going to be adding a public learning center or outpost station that will be at the education center. It's about halfway down that main road. And this will be open to the public for basically a trailhead beginning station. So they'll have maps in there, they'll have learning resources in there. This is an area where the community director will be we're bringing people in to do education classes. So some of the things you'll be able to do in the park is they'll have some scavenger hunts for kids in the region or a link to the school. We're also adding an equestrian trail on the north side of the property that will have direct access from other parts of Orange County and Seminole County to come into the park area. We'll have separate trails for bikes and for walking, so you don't have bikes driving all over people that really just want to actually hike. And in the learning facility, we'll have, or in the club facility, we'll have cooking classes and gardening classes and that type of thing. So tonight we're just basically going to talk about the policies and how Sustany will conform to the policies that we've worked on with Orange County staff on. So the Transat policy is the kind of the main focus here. And so Sustany has a T1, as we heard earlier, and T1 is basically the natural lands, the wildlife corridors, and the wetlands, and it is 0 units in those lands. So there's no homes that are built in the T1 lands. The T2 zone is an area that is lower density. It has compatibility with the region around it. It has lake-type buffers. And there's larger setbacks on the homes. And in this zone, the policy is 2 units per acre, but we are at 1.9 units per acre. The T3 zone is in the middle of the property, which to give you kind of a size-wise here, the distance from Lake Picket to the T3 zone is about 2,500 feet. So it's about a half a mile. And then the T1 zone, this is about a little over 2,000 feet. So in the T3 zone, we've got a little higher density homes in that zone. They're in a walkable nature, so there's a lot of trails and sidewalks that connect each village to each other into the learning center. And then each inside those zones will be focal point parks. So there'll be parks that will be easily accessible to the people that live in that zone, and they won't have to walk very far. And in this zone, we are about 3 units per acre. The policies have 5 units per acre. I've been told to walk up here, I don't know why. So the next thing is we're talking about is the transition. So this is something that we spent a lot of time on and looking at how this property transitions with the community around it. So to the west of the property, we've got the 700-acre park. So this right here. So this is a 700-acre transition that we've currently got that's existing today. To the east of the property, we have existing rural settlement, which we are keeping today. We're not changing the rural settlement, so that's staying the same. It has existing land use, and it's 1 unit per acre. We have, again, you got the 700-acre park on the west, and then we have a buffer on the north, which is Seminole County. Now, there's no units up here. There's no homes up here. This is vacant land. But this is going to be our wildlife corridor that will have our horse trail access that will come down into the park. And then down on the south, we have Lake Picket Road. And here we have a buffer, and then we have the 1 acre lot they're set back about 200 feet from the road will be the homes, the structures. The structures will be about 200 feet back. And this is just a little rendering that shows what we're going on in here with the split rail fence type thing, and then the landscaping. But our intention is to increase the landscaping in the bare areas and actually plant early on so the trees have time to grow up as we're planting for the property. So on the infrastructure, this is part of 6.8.4. We will have all central water, sewer, and reuse systems. There'll be no septic systems or wells on property. There'll be low impact stormwater design. What that means is a lot of the trails will be pervious, meaning that there's not a lot of oil and runoff that will be going into the stormwater systems because of the type of design we use. And in addition to that, there will be more of what they call best practices, which will be abatement models, where when the runoff goes into the stormwater ponds, it's cleaned through a series of slow percolation channels as well as natural type landscaping and such. Additionally, all the stormwater ponds will be amenitized. So there'll be trails around the ponds, there'll be aerator systems in the ponds to keep the water in a moving state, because when you have still water, it winds up getting a little bit nasty. So you keep the aerating in the ponds as well. We are going to be building to the Florida Green Building Coalition standards, which is a much higher level standard than what we have, the Orange County standards that they are today. And we also have to be building towards the econ protection ordinance, which is the stormwater ordinance in this region that is a higher level of design standards that's required. And then we have wildlife corridors that's part of our natural resources section of the land use policies. We talked a little bit about the Learning Center, which is kind of there in the center, and how the Learning Center ties in all the natural resources around. When you look at this site, I don't know if you're driven around the property a lot, but there is a lot of areas on the property that are very nice to look at, and we're going to try to really kind of, well, obviously keep those areas, but also amenitize those so people can actually see those areas. For example, this area down in here, this big green area, is really a big marsh area that has, it's very good, very nice views. And we're looking at creating a kind of a linear park that comes through here to be able to take advantage of those views that we open to the public and through a trail system. Additionally, this area right here is very pretty in regards to the wetland and the marsh that's around that. And this is going to be where our Learning Center is, which will be the new trailhead and the location of the new entrance to the park, which will be more of a central location rather than having to come all the way down here. So that's the new Learning Center, which will be an outpost space, and it will be staffed. You can see some, there'll be some mapping, there'll be a viewing tower that will be constructed, education classes, and camping sites, canoe launch, obviously the habitat viewing tower. And then a botanical garden that would have some of the natural lands that are in, or natural landscape, or natural plant materials that are in the area that would be more of a learning education aspect to it, so people can understand what the ecology of this area is really about. And connectivity. We've got, what we've designed here is small little neighborhoods that are part of a master neighborhood. So all the circles you see there are really supposed to be individual neighborhoods that can connect to each other. They're walkable in nature. There's a central focal point in each one of the neighborhoods. Each one of the neighborhoods also has 35% open space with regards to open land that's not developed for homes. There are 125 acres in size, and the complete street design. What that means is that the streets kind of all connect to each other, and there's very few cul-de-sacs. This is where all the little multiple central parks are. So you can see all the little red dots are going to be individual parks throughout the whole community. We have 12 miles of trails that will connect all those parks together and then lead all into the central 700-acre park. And we have 5 miles of eco-park trails that are existing today, which will all be improved. And we'll also be connecting to the future East Orange trail system, which is proposed to be on the north and then down here. And what we'll be doing is probably building a portion of that trail that then later on will turn into the East Orange trail. We're proposing a middle school. We would like to have a K through 8. The OCPS, Orange County Public Schools, has not decided whether they will allow that yet, but we prefer a K through 8. And then we're donating land for a fire station, and we're working right now with the fire chief to discuss with him about the timing and the funding of that station. So put it all together is what we call the conceptual regulating plan, which includes all the different transects and everything that we just went over. So anybody have questions?
All right, we just go?
Go ahead.
Okay, I actually have a question for the other developer as well, but I guess it goes to both. The last developer spoke about Horizon West and Lake Nona having gotten all this funding for roads. If everybody in this room doesn't know it already, the Mormon Church is buying up a lot of the state of Florida. Lake Nona and Horizon West is essentially a giant project brought to you by the Mormon Church. Look up John Pratt and his ties to Commissioner Thompson as well as many other people. Again, the reason why this part of town isn't getting the roads that people are asking, the Mormon Church hasn't invested in this part of town yet. The urban service boundary keeps expanding. When will it end? Let's analyze the comprehensive plan and consider amendments to the Orange County comprehensive plan. We keep paving the state with concrete and drywall. Folks that live out on this part of town moved to live in this part of town for a reason. Because of it being more, quote-unquote, rural. And I don't understand why this comprehensive plan keeps changing. Commissioner Ted Edwards has been here for about 20 minutes now, and no one announced him, by the way. You say, and everybody, the last developer as well, speaking about catering to the millennials. I'm 33, I'm not really millennial, technically. There are some millennials still in this room that haven't already walked out, including half of the room that has walked out. I don't even know if the millennials will be able to afford this housing, let alone want to partake in some of this greenwashing, which is what I'm seeing tonight. I looked up where the Orange County Commissioners and the Mayor live through the Property Appraiser website. I can tell you right now, they don't live in this part of town, and they don't get stuck on Colonial like a lot of you folks do, just so you know. And if there is an accident, or God forbid somebody needs to get to the hospital or get some help, are they just going to be waiting and dying in traffic? Where's the FDOT? Where's John Micah? That's what it comes down to. There's a lot of putting the cart before the horse here. I'm not understanding what's going on. Again, if you're not even living in this part of town and dealing with this traffic, I don't understand how you all, the developers, whoever's got money invested in this project, how you even have a say in what happens in this part of town if you don't even live here.
That's right.
And what about the democracy, the constituents that put the different commissioners in office? Every constituent needs to talk to their commissioner and enforce the fact that if we voted for you here, whether you get turned out this time or not, you need to do what the constituents want. And I'm sorry, I guess I missed the last meeting, but I heard from a few folks that this is more or less a copy and paste of the last meeting. So I guess I'm not sad that I missed the last meeting, but where's the traffic information that was supposed to come to this meeting? I'm not seeing it, I haven't heard it. So again, I suggest everybody Google search. Google search all the commissioners and the key players, the developers, the owners, this and that, please. And start watching facial expressions. And I have to say, I felt like the last guy that spoke, the developer, was talking down to a few folks.
Yes.
So that is inappropriate. Thank you.
This is my second meeting. I came tonight as a lot of other people thinking about transportation. All I'm getting is a sales pitch. I already live here. I own a house here. You don't have to convince me to buy one of your houses. How many people here are going to line up to buy one of your houses? I'd like to hear from the county here what they're going to do from us who live here. That's all I got to say.
My name is Ingrid Roberts, and the last meeting that we were here, you were planning a road right through my school, and then you said you would leave my school alone, and you were going to take my house. So, and I'm also a Holocaust survivor. I was born in Holland, and when the Nazis came, they took everything from us, our identity, our home, and everything we owned. Now it seems that the same thing is threatening us again. We are faced with losing everything again, our home, our identity, and our property. The thought of all this happening again makes me sick to my stomach. The same thing I feel when the subject of World War II comes up, and I'm reminded of what the Nazis did. You want my land, my house, and the school for your profits, even though you will make all the traffic much worse. This nightmare should never be approved. We should not be faced with another invasion. Amen.
I had some questions. Can you pull your thing back up? I don't know if you mentioned where the ingress and egress to the neighborhood was. It's kind of hard to read the plan.
Sure. So the objective here is for a road to be coming through, transfers through the property. So the main entrance to the property will be somewhere along this road in here. But there will be a 2-lane road that will come out onto Julia Road here, will turn into more of a 4-lane road here, and then come out onto Lake Picket down in this area in the corner here. This part of Lake Picket will stay the same as it is today, as well as this part of Julia Road.
Okay, and the part where McCullough dead ends, there's no plans to expand that? And
There's no plans to
pipe
expand
that
it.
across?
No plans to expand.
Because I'll tell you right now, and I hope the county commissioner's listening, if you do that, you're going to have a worse traffic nightmare than what you're already proposing. Because you're going to make a direct feeder line from UCF, where there's 80,000+ students and growing, where they're going to be moving out here, they're going to be driving out here to Cutaway to go to the beach or what have you, and it is going to be 10 times worse than what we've seen so far in these proposals today.
Our traffic plan does not include our traffic plan does not include any road on the whole.
Okay, and is it a gated community?
No, it is not.
Okay. And I noticed going down Lake Picket the last couple of weeks, there's a lot of drilling going on. Is that you all? There's some drilling right up Lake Picket, I don't know if it's on this property or right next to that property.
I'm not sure about that. I did not authorize any drilling. So if you see a truck or something, I'd like to get that information because no one's supposed to do that.
St. John's Water, man.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you. And I hope that the county commissioner and the other county reps here have really listened to the people in here, because what we want is a traffic meeting. We don't, this is a sales pitch. I agree with everybody that's mentioned that so far. This is a sales pitch. You're probably not going to get many people in this room buying up. And we need to talk about what the county plans to do. I know you guys want to make money, but what the county plans to do to really, how are you going to deal with this? You're taking an area, I'm just restating what everybody else has said, you're taking an area that's already overpopulated and you're adding another, I did the numbers roughly, another like 1,100 to 1,650 drivers just in the Grove neighborhood. I don't know what the numbers are here, another 2,000 drivers, it's going to be ridiculous. That's all I'm saying.
Quickly warning obviously the county's published agenda differed from the community group's agenda. So, Mr. Sustany, who gave the 15-minute presentation, gave the 20-minute presentation and overview of transportation at the last meeting, has offered up to take 15 minutes or so more questions tonight after we've completed the question and answers with this applicant. So if you want to stick around after we're done with the questions for this applicant, we'll open it up to transportation-related questions. And again, don't forget, we have another community meeting a week from tonight. We can continue that discussion.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Serena Farrell, and just one thing I wanted to mention. The other developer said that a couple of times that the rezoning of the two properties would only apply to those two properties. And as you heard from the previous person that spoke, when he was up here, it was up to unless the commissioners change it, and we all know historically that can happen. So we have no promises. If you change it here, then someone else can come and say, well, you guys did it here. Why can't we do it over here? And that's the entitlement, and it's going to come up, and here we're going to be in trouble. And the last thing I have to say is as far as the constituents, if we have a concern, and the commissioners are listening, you probably shouldn't be snickering. It's not fun.
I'm looking over all of this. There's no hospital planned out in this area.
police cannot get out here because they're so tied up, and the fact is that the police departments cannot get enough good, solid applicants to fill their areas right now. We don't have enough to cover. I had a burglar in my yard. I had to watch the two guys with a shotgun take them out of my yard for 4 hours. They threatened me, and not one policeman came out to my house, even though I called 911 4 times. This is what we have out here now. Also, I'm looking at a little area here on that. As you're looking at this, are we going to get out of here else we have a hurricane hit this country? There's not going to be enough roads, even with that, to cover letting us get from here. So we're going to get Cocoa. We're going to get people from Titusville there now, coming up 50, 520 and 50, through this area. They're not going to hit full away because it's going to be tied up anyway. We're going to be stuck here, and people in this area will not have any way of getting out. We've got to have help. 8 or 9 water major roads going through here before anything is done. You got to think on the fact these little 2-lane roads and 4 lanes are not going to do it. 150. I saw when the lights was coming through. And those roads were standstill. Even if they make us pick up 6 lanes each side, we are still not going to get half the people that will come through here. You're putting something in an area that we cannot afford. When I come out for Christmas, I take a 450 road, I'm going to drop up and come out up in on north. But 419 on the exams up now with all this. Have you ever thought about this before you start planning something?
We did. We studied the road system and the road network quite a bit, and I think that Mr. Mazzazzi would come up afterwards. We just weren't prepared tonight to go into details of it. We submitted a traffic plan to the county, and the county is reviewing it currently as we stand.
Because what I look at here, it doesn't look like it even close. Why do you people who are doing your planning never come out here, you look at a map, but they don't realize what actually happened out here? That is the biggest problem, is you people are all educated. I'm educated too. What I'm saying is this: they are book educated common fools. Because the only way you want to know about this is that you've been out here and lived here. These roads, when something like that happens, it really gets bad. The ministers didn't think about this too. They're going to have to figure out more than just get 50. We're going to have to get old chain back over the place, that little bridge across there, with everything else that's going on. That'll help stop it. Even if they think that, boy, he's not going to get enough. Not before we die here today. You're in that bad shape, I hear, because East Orange County, this area here, used to be Fort Christmas Township, not Orange County. If they want to keep it up, I vote that we go and people in East Orange County go and leave Orange County alone and have our own on this side of the river, of the Econ River, like it once was. Thank you.
I have 2 questions. The first one is referencing the last meeting, and this is kind of just a carbon copy of the first meeting. When you propose a road through people's homes, wouldn't it be a good idea on your part to actually visit those people and let them know that you're planning to destroy their homes? I would love to have you come to mine, and I could show you the home that you are planning to destroy. Have you visited those homes?
The reason we haven't visited any of the homes is because we do not know exactly where the corridor is. We submitted a study that the county is in review of, and there's multiple things that go involved, which is looking at the corridor, and one of those would be to minimize the impact on residences or businesses.
And
So as a
minimizing
result,
the impact.
we don't know where that road exactly is going to go. The last time we showed a picture, the reason why it was so fat, the little kind of very big blob that went through there, is because we have no idea at this point where that will go because we're so early in the stages. It was just a conceptual idea of a road connecting from point A to point B, but the actual alignment of it hasn't been determined.
So basically, you're proposing a potential conceptual road that you don't know exactly where it is or how big it is or where it's going to go through. So you obviously cannot know how much traffic it's going to alleviate. So what comes first, as they said before? Do you plan the development and then fix the roads, possibly for people's homes that have been there for half a century? Or do you plan that first and actually know what you're planning to do? Which leads me to my second question. What alternatives do you have? Because before you try to bulldoze my house, you definitely need to come see it. And then let me know that that's the best option so that these other people who aren't here yet can have a home. So they're not here, I am, and there's 100 other people who are already here, who like where they live. We love where we live. You know what I mean? And yet it means that you have to take someone's home to give someone else a home, then you have something wrong with your moral compass.
Alright, so I'd like to address some of your language that you're using. You call the 700-acre conservation area an eco park. You don't actually use the term conservation area, yet you're trying to promote conservation and sustainability through your project. How is that helping conservation at all? How is your development helping conservation? What are you using the conservation term? It seems like a conflict of interest with what's already there.
The current park is it's called a Sandhill Conservation Ecological Park. That's the actual designation of it. The area will not be built on in any way other than improvements in regards to allowing the use of the land to be used for an educational purpose. Because right now the property is actually not a very safe place to go. It's not well marked, the trails are not well defined, and there's no signage. You have to use a GPS to get around it. And so our objective is to actually use the property for the purposes of educating people on the conservation of the area.
But you're not going to address any of the conservation plans that are already there in place. You're going to build more and erode what's already there by building more horse trails and by building exercise areas to pretty much get rid of any conservation value it has.
We have no plans to remove any conservation value of the property.
Or people very well.
My question is, talk about if things go through in Philadelphia roads with the county, with Orange County, if you co-op work building roads with Orange County, the builders and Orange County, okay, once they're built, who's going to do the upkeep? The builders or the county? You guys went in it together. Who's going to do the upkeep of the roads?
The county has a budget for maintenance that's separate and aside from new road construction, and that maintenance budget, it will be turned over to the county as public roads. So the county maintenance department will be taking care of the roads.
Okay, thank you.
I got a couple of questions for you. How many units per acre are we talking about this development?
On the road basis, we're at about 1.4. So we have 1,435 acres, and we're proposing 1,999 units, which works out to about a little under 1.4. On a net basis, we are about 1.8. 1.77, I think it is.
Presently, the zoning is for 1 unit per 10 acres, east of the econ. So what's wrong with that? What's wrong with 1 unit per 10 acres? Why do we have to have 1 per 1.2 acres, whatever it is you're stating? I don't understand the concept of taking a ecological area and adjacent to it, sticking 1.2 homes per acre in an area that's had nothing but cows, sandhill cranes, wild turkeys, and deer for the last millennium. I don't understand that concept. How is that bettering our community here? There's a lot of people here that are frustrated with traffic concerns, frustrated with the fact that their whole way of life is changing. Part of this has to do with the supposed increase in home sales in this area. I don't know, has there been any studies done by you or the other applicant regarding who are buying those homes? Are they people that are buying homes coming here to work? Are they just people that are investors that are buying the homes to rent them out to low-wage workers? I don't see how East Orange County has economic development to sustain these types of developments right now. It's not there. I've lived in East Orange County for 15 years. And about the best thing that happened was they paved Tanner Road. Other than that, they've built one community after another, put 4 to 5 homes per acre, and it's just crowded the roads. It's affected everyone's way of life here. So to use terms like agri-hood and agritopia and grow and eco-literate and natural areas, you're taking a natural area and you're making it unnatural. That's what you're doing. Let's call it what it is. It's not related to Florida that those of us that are Floridians. I'm a 4th generation Orange County Floridian. It's not natural. There's nothing about it that is. And I would ask that you go back and look at, I don't see no one here from Orange County Public Schools. We've had mention of an ag-based curriculum. I'm a former ag teacher. There's a reason why I'm a former ag teacher in Orange County, because the ag program has gone away in Orange County. Less than 2% of our country population produces over 50% of the world's food supply. Well, they don't do it on 2-acre lots. They do it on hundreds of thousands of acres at a time.
My name is Robert Kerr. I'm extremely disappointed. I came here tonight expecting to talk about traffic. Last time, the one thing that you were clear on is that the road that you were proposing to widen Lake Picket into was not going to go through the school. Tonight, you don't seem to know where that road is going, but somehow you know it's not going through the school. Is that because of economics?
No, not at all. The question was, how come you haven't met with the people that the road is going through? And basically I've said that the road will not be going through the school. And so, but we don't know exactly where it will go past that, but we do know that the school will not be impacted from the road.
Well, it seems like a chicken and egg thing here. I mean, before you plan a community called Sustany, you want to sustain the community that's already in place. My feeling is